All right, guys, welcome to this video. I'm super pumped to share with you guys Hunter, the AI-powered resume optimizer. This is a tool designed to take the work out of aligning jobs to resumes, and actually more importantly, resumes to jobs. So you see how that works both ways. We have a technology here that's designed particularly for job seekers, but also we have a recruiting technology. So this is a technology that we built and we are bringing to market. It's also a reflection of the type of work that we do. This technology was created by Orbital Software Solutions, Inc., a premier and boutique AI transformation consulting company. We specialize in integrating AI into products and workflows. We do custom consulting, product consulting, and then we also emit our own products and platform technologies. So if you really enjoy what you see here today, know that you can reach out and that you can have this for yourself. We white label technology, we integrate it, we run it in the background for companies, we do all of those things. So please reach out if you like what you see here. Let's get into it. You'll see that we're able to do a free trial right away. This is going to enable you to load up some resumes, load up some job postings, and then see the optimized result come out. And then after that, you'll have the option to upgrade if you like. All right, so first thing we want to do is look at the menu options that we have up here, right? So we have an optimization workflow. So this is an AI guided tool which will allow you to do all the things you need to do to get that resume output. The other thing we have is we have a resume management tab where you can see the resumes that you upload and the ones that have ultimately been parsed. So let's start with the optimization workflow. This is kind of the easiest, right? So I'm going to go ahead and load a resume. I'm going to upload a resume here. Okay, so I've loaded a resume and now it's starting to parse it. What it's actually doing is it's utilizing artificial intelligence to identify and express all the dimensions of you, right? So you might have a role that you've done some work in the past. Maybe there were components that required you to manage. Some are technical, some are soft skills. So the reality is that the resume parsing is going to identify these different dimensions and then present language and expression around that. And now the reason why we want all these dimensions expressed is that when you go to apply for a role, we can intelligently use artificial intelligence to pull from the job posting the dimensions there and then create the right kind of context engineering such that all of the dimensions can align perfectly. Now, this is some of the stuff that we do when we build AI technology into your products, is that we really look deep about context and what it is that we're trying to achieve. So in this case here, we know what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve perfect alignment for the candidate and the role. Okay, so now we see that we have this process. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of my old resumes here. Okay, so down over here, you'll see that now we've parsed a resume. So we can go ahead and look and we'll see my name. We'll see, okay, here's a professional summary about who I am. So it's taken this from the resume. It's identified some high-level dimensions, and then it's identified some of the work experience, right? So here you can see I've got a role as an architect. We did some work with the government. You have the raw information. So these are the raw professional profile for the experience. So this would be a description. Some of the key points that come from their resume in a raw sense, and then different skills and tags and so on about this position. Now you'll notice that we have something interesting here, is that the AI has identified that there are leadership components in the role and technical components in the role. So let's go ahead and click on that. Okay, so now we see a different lens of the person and the role. So for example, if I found a job that had required more leadership, the context engineering of this lens would be able to show and pull leadership information. Take, for example, technical, right? So this role has a technical component, so required a competency there as well. So it's very interesting that for each experience, it provides some different dimension. Now, these roles are kind of technology leadership roles, so that's why we see leadership and technical. But I can assure you that if you had other roles that required sales or different types of consulting or customer engagement, these are all dimensions that would be coming up. Okay. Okay, so we've got this resume loaded in the system, and we can return to our optimization workflow at this point, and we'll see that we don't have a job loaded. So there's a resume locked and loaded, but we need a job. Okay, so let's go ahead and we can say select a job. Doesn't have any in our library in our list right now. So let's go to the job processing. And at this point here, what we're going to do, it's a little bit different. We're not uploading a job. We're going to paste a job into the system here. So I've got one loaded up here from Anthropic. It's a product engineer, researcher, education labs. Sounds like a wonderful opportunity for someone who's in the engineering, AI engineering space and wants to do a little bit of research. So let's go ahead and copy the role. So I'm going to go ahead, 300,000 US dollars. It's not too bad. Let's go ahead, copy that. Yeah, I think that's enough. So you can be more thorough. You can put everything in here. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to go into here and I'm just going to paste it. Okay. Now you might be already thinking about automations. We'll talk about automations, AI agents, all that stuff in a moment. But let's go ahead and just analyze this. Okay, so what it's doing now, you can see here's a little bit of information. It's really kind of deriving all of the same types of information that we need for alignment that we saw from the resume extraction. And that is things like the skills, the keywords, the different types of dimensions that we need. And ultimately, it's going to create a structured presentation about that data. So we're taking this data, it's raw, it's unstructured, as you can see, it's all text. And it's ultimately going to break it down. So now we can see that it has broken down this job. Okay, so here's some tagging information about this, is that this is a product research engineer. We didn't put much information about the company name on this one, but it's not a big deal. And then it just kind of talks about this and fills out different aspects, right? Different responsibilities, keywords, all that good stuff. So that's fine. Let's return to the workflow now. And we've got a resume loaded. We've got a job status or a job loaded, and now we can go ahead and optimize. Now we're back at the optimization workflow. What do we see here? We have a resume that's loaded, we have a job that's loaded, and now the system is ready to do an optimization. So this is where artificial intelligence is going to be used to align the structured dimensioned resume with the structured dimensioned job posting. It's going to do a whole series of context engineering steps to create and formalize the alignments, and away we go. And we'll see the results shortly. One of the things you'll see is that we have this button called Optimize Resume. This one uses the system defaults. We have another one which is Optimize with Perspective. Now, the reason we have that one is it allows you to guide the AI and guide the output and the responses in such a way that you want it maybe flavored a little bit more towards your leadership style or whatever it might be that you are interested in presenting. So we're just going to pick the regular one right now. And we're going to now go through this optimization step. Now, after the optimization is complete, the system's going to kick you over to the optimizations tab. And that's when we're going to see a aligned resume and an aligned cover letter. Okay, with this deep contextual dimension, alignment, the keywords, everything's taken into consideration around the alignment. All right, so now we're at the optimizations tab and we're in the result viewer. So you can see that this has created an optimization result, and the resume, the optimized resume, is visible here. We can download the resume. I'll go ahead and show you guys that, but it's really just a text file at this point. We do have the ability to deal with templates. This is a technology part that we're still working on, but it essentially allows you to define all of the positional elements. So if you have a particular style or format of resume you like that you want to consistently use, you just upload that and just make sure that you have these placeholders in place. Okay. Now let's take a look at this. Okay, so now we have a very specific tuned resume for that exact role. Okay. So It talks about the roles that I've had in the context of the job posting that we are focused on. All right. It'll choose the appropriate experience that makes the most sense. So if you had multiple resumes and multiple experiences, it would know which ones to choose. It would talk about different technical skills, keywords, all that jazz. And then it also creates a cover letter for you. All right. Now I'll pause the screen here where you can look at this. Some of the stuff you might want to rerun, right? So just because you've done it here once doesn't mean that you can't run it again. So you can run it again, you can tune it, you can ask for language change. And the other thing you can do too is just you can just download. I think it's going to be a popular feature. And let's talk more about the results. Okay, so you will have to try this. There's a free trial, so you can go give this a shot and see how the alignment works for you, for your resume and your jobs. Okay. Now, when you get through this, you're going to notice that there's a lot of language that's very much aligned. It's pulled from the right and proper dimension. So if the job was, more technical, that would be, you'd see technical language. If it's business and leadership, you would see that kind of language. So it's all about the engineered context. Okay. And then it'll ultimately give you a rundown of certain statistics, different types of scoring. So this one here says 85% about how well this resume aligns with the job posting. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the cover letter. I'll just leave it on here. You can read it. It's the same kind of thing. You can download it in text. We don't have templates for the cover letter. It's pretty basic. We think you can just load it into your Word editor. You can imagine that if you just keep cycling through this, right, you're going to get perfect alignment. You dump 10, 20, 30, 100 jobs into the system, and you're starting to get all this work saved, because it's a huge amount of effort to have to align your resume with all these different job postings. Everyone's going to be asking for something slightly different. Okay, so if you want to go back and you want to load any one of the optimizations to get it, you can just hit the load button and boom, it's all loaded back up. Away you go. What are some of the other interesting things? Well, the analytics is something that's interesting. Okay. Now, as you load up more and more resumes, you're going to begin to get an understanding about the alignment, right? So at a high level glance here, you can see, oh, well, you know what? The resumes that I put into the system are pretty much 50-50 technical and leadership, right? And that makes sense, because that's what I do, right? Is technical leadership. So if you really enjoy what you see here today, know that you can reach out and that you can have this for yourself. We white label technology, we integrate it, we run it in the background for companies. We do all of those things. So please reach out if you like what you see here.